I actually had it happen with a friend. They were in a crash. Obviously, their insurance goes up. They weren't at fault. Why is that?
Yeah, we've seen that happen where people are involved in an accident that wasn't their fault. They did nothing wrong, but they saw an increase in their insurance rates. Each insurance company has a different underwriting process. What factors they take into consideration to determine what you're going to pay. A lot of people believe, and it's been proven, there have been articles written about it, insurance companies don't just use crash information to determine premiums. There's many factors that go into it. It's your age, it's your credit report, it's what kind of credit cards you have, what kind of job you have. There are other factors that go into determining your premium that are more important to the insurance company than your driving history.
Sure.
And which I always thought was interesting. I always thought your driving history, your tickets and all that are what they look at. They do look at that, but there are other factors that are more important because they have data that people in certain economic status, people that have certain jobs, people that have certain credit reports, and with certain jobs and so forth, cause or involved in less accidents. And that's what they're using these days. It's more than just your driving history.
Okay.
It's many factors. And each insurance company has kind of a variation of those factors to determine. But when I tell people, if your insurance company is trying to raise your rates, even if you were not at fault, it's time to start looking for another insurance company because another insurance company may not use that factor to determine your rate. So just shop it around.
So that would be the best way to fight back against it if they start raising your rates. And would there be an argument to not report a claim if you have one of those so that it doesn't raise the rate?
I've heard that before. Yeah. People don't want to report the accident. They just want to take care of it out of their pocket. But if you read your insurance policy, it requires you, even if you're going to pay out of pocket, you have to report that claim to the insurance company. Now, if you don't report it and you're involved in another accident later on, or they find out you didn't report it, that would be a basis to cancel the policy. You breached the terms of the policy by not reporting it. So read your policy and talk to your agent because every policy that I've seen requires you to report every accident you've been involved in or every incident you've been involved in. Because that could jeopardize the validity of the insurance policy, even if you plan to pay for it out of pocket. The other thing I want to comment on that, on what insurance companies can do to invalidate a policy. You think you've got a policy. You paid the premium, you think you got an insurance policy. Maybe you're involved in an accident, you take care of it yourself, you don't report it. They find out about it as a result of something else that happens and they invalidate your policy because you breached it. The other way policies get canceled or be invalidated is when people are not honest about the insurance application. When you apply for your car insurance policy, they're going to ask you certain questions. One of the questions that I see that's definitely going to be in there, who's living in your household? Okay, they want to know who is in your residence. And a lot of times people are not upfront about who's living with them. Okay, and they're involved in an accident. And and the insurance company investigates or takes a sworn statement from you, which they have a right to do. As an insured under the policy, the insurance company has a right to take your sworn statement, which means they can put you under oath and ask you questions. And if they find out there's an inconsistency in something that you told them in the insurance application, they will invalidate that policy. They will send you back the premium that you paid and send you a letter stating that you do not have insurance for this accident. So it's very important to be completely upfront and honest about the insurance application. And if there's a question on the application you don't understand, reach out to your agent or to the insurance company and say, hey, here's this question. I'm not sure how to answer it. Because if it's not answered truthfully and properly, it's a basis to invalidate your insurance policy.